The following program may contain strong language and mature content. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. I am so excited to be here today. Welcome to It's Just Kim. So, this is the time where you can just sit back and not just relax, but you can actually communicate with me. We can talk about some things that are going on. This is my show where I get to talk about things that are important to me. Yeah, it's good when you can talk about stuff that's important to you. Because guess what? Your opinion, it matters. It absolutely matters. And so today, I want to talk about something that is really important to everyone because we're not rolling into the holiday season, but we are in the holiday season. We just had Thanksgiving just passed, and now we're getting ready to roll into the Christmas season, which is one of the harder seasons for some people to deal with. And so today, I just want to share. First of all, I want to talk about it because it's not easy for everyone. It's not easy for everyone to deal with the holiday season because a lot of times people get what they call the holiday blues for various reasons. For various reasons. Sometimes we don't have good relationships with family. There are other times where we may not have the finances that we want. It could be dealing with your children, not being able to give them all the things that you feel like they deserve to have. And so, you just have to kind of take a step back and analyze your own personal situation and just be real with it. Be real with it so that you can deal with it. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about dealing and defeating the holiday blues. It's not easy. Let me just say this. It's not easy. I could probably give some personal testimonies about some situations that I have dealt with in the past. Dylan and I believe in keeping it real, so I'm just gonna keep it real with you guys. In the past, my husband and I were going through a really hard situation long time ago, and we felt like, okay, we're going to be bold, and we're going to be fearless, and we're going to go around family, and we're going to put ourselves in a situation where we can be around people. But what we didn't realize was that the people that we were, I guess, placing ourselves in the company of really didn't care about us. They didn't care about us. They didn't care about what we were going through. They didn't care about our children. And so we went there. We went to that house, and we gave it our best shot. We went in, there was a lot of people there, and we could tell people were talking about us. We could feel it. And people smile and greet you and say this and that, but they're having their little private conversations in the corner. And so, you know, for us, that was very uncomfortable. For our children, it was very uncomfortable. And so at some point in the day, we didn't stay very long, but at some point in the day, we looked at each other and we said, you know what? It's time to go. It's time to go. And so, you know what we did? We got our coats, we got our kids, and we left. hmm we got our stuff and we left. We made a decision that was best for us. That's what we did. And we got in the car. I'll never forget this. We got in the car and we looked at each other and we said, we will never do that again. And guess what? We have never done that again. And what we did was we did something completely different. We created our own holiday tradition. We gathered our own holiday people that we wanted to spend time with during that time, and we made that happen for us. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen the same way for you. That's people do things differently, but that's what we did for ourselves. And guess what? It was good. We made it through. We were able to create this new tradition, and put ourselves in the company of people that we knew loved us, cared about us, and we the same for them. And we had a good time. And ever since then, and this has been many, many years, we have had a great time amongst the people that we choose to spend our time with. So sometimes it's not even about, um, the family that you have, the family that you were born into. Sometimes you have to create your own family when things are not so good with your family. If it's not a healthy situation, if it's not a healthy environment for you, your children, for your family, for your loved one, your significant other, if it's not healthy, don't do it. Why would you do it? Now, I struggled with that thinking for years because of maybe a couple things. I struggled with that because being a Christian, being a pastor's wife, sometimes you get caught up in thinking that you're supposed to suffer so that others can be happy. And that's not it, people. We should not put ourselves in a suffering position, in a suffering pattern so that others can be happy. Guess what? You deserve to be happy too. That's right. I'm just going to sit in that. You deserve to be happy too. And so, because you deserve to be happy, just like the other folks deserve to be happy, then sometimes you have to make those hard decisions. Gotta make those hard decisions. And so, we as a family, as our unit, I'll say it again, you have to make those hard decisions. And so, we as a family, my husband, myself, not so much the children because they were young, we did what was best for them as their parents. But we made a hard decision. We decided that we would not position ourselves in that environment anymore. We stopped. We didn't do it anymore. We did not do it anymore. And when I tell you that, I can't even tell you how my life has changed, because now I spend the holidays with people that I love, they love me, and we have a fantastic time together. We do. We have a fantastic time together. So, sometimes you have to make those choices for yourself. Like I said, you have to make those hard decisions for yourself. So, when we're talking about dealing with holiday blues, sometimes we experience loneliness, sometimes we experience anxiousness, depression, all of that, all of those feelings, all of that stuff can kind of creep up into your life right around that time. Sometimes we may have experienced in the past people who, family members and loved ones who passed away during this time. It's just a lot of things that could contribute to the holiday blues. Like I said, not being on good terms with family, not having the finances that you thought you should have. You know what? I think one of the best Christmases that we had with our children was just spending time together. We didn't have a whole lot of money, but what we did have, we provided for our children and they were happy. And then, one time we had decided that, you know what, we don't have a whole lot. We're going to be honest with our kids. We're going to tell them the truth that we don't have a whole lot right now. And when I tell you, God opened up a window and poured out a blessing. There was a young lady that we spent time with when she was a young person, and she was come to our house, and and we she was like family to us, or still is. And that young lady blessed our children. It was amazing. It was amazing. We At that time we had 3 kids, and she provided each one of them with a certain amount of money that was probably a lot more than I was going to spend on them. And they were able to have probably a better Christmas than they would have had, otherwise. And so, it was like, once we made the decision to say, hey, we're going to talk to our kids and we're going to share with them and we're going to be real with them and tell them what the truth is, because it's really not our birthday. Now, if it was our birthday, then that's different. I believe in being celebrated on your birthday. However, the reason for the season is not so that we should get bogged down with gifts and trinkets and things. Sometimes we teach our kids the wrong thing. We teach them that these holidays or Christmas is about them getting all the things, the long laundry list of things that they're asking for. And that's not how it's supposed to go. We should share with our kids what it is, what the season is about. If that's your belief, share with them about what that season is about. Even if that's not your belief, even just creating the thought that maybe the season of Christmas is about giving, about sharing, about doing for other people, And sometimes when you can change that mindset and get into that thinking of, this is not about me, but this is about having the opportunity to bless someone else, that'll change your life. That will change your life. Let me just say this. Let me kind of segue just a bit right here. Sometimes when you're going through certain things, you're just going through a hard time in your life. The best thing that happened to me once when I was going through a hard time was helping somebody else. And it wasn't even about they were going through a harder time, but it was just that I was able to take the focus off of myself and put it on someone else and help them get through what they were trying to get through. And let me tell you, it helped me, because in some of those cases, people were going through harder times than I was going through. And I was able to take the focus off what I was experiencing and looking at my situation going, you know what, girl, this ain't so bad. It could be worse. So sometimes we have to do that. So I wanted to come on today because I know that we're getting ready to get into Christmas. It gets tough. It gets rough. Some people will start becoming depressed because they start missing loved ones. They start thinking about, maybe it's a time where you think about the year, how things progress, how they didn't progress, how your finances turned out, and you're at a point now where maybe you can't afford to do certain things that you thought you were going to be able to afford to do. Let me say this: don't put yourself in dire straits trying to please other people. And let me take another step and say, and that includes your kids too. Like I said, we had to pull back that one Christmas and tell our kids, look. And that wasn't the first time or the only time, but we had to pull back and say, look, you guys, we just don't have it like that right now. And so, we're going to do what we can, but we want you guys to know that this Christmas is not about you. It's about Christ. It's about others. And it's about, sharing and giving. And so I think because we raised our kids that way, I think they have that mindset now that, you know what, let's do something good for somebody else. Okay. So let's kind of get into some things that we can do, to help us during this season. Let me say this before I go there, though. How about we do not run up our credit cards? I just feel like I just need to say that. I just do. I just felt like I needed to say it to somebody. So, that little thing they say, somebody needs to hear this. I don't know who it is, but let me say this to you. You don't need to put yourself in financial straits. Don't put yourself in a bad position where when the new year comes and you're paying all these bills, you're trying to make payments on all these credit cards and all this stuff, all these loans. Don't do no payday loan and all that kind of stuff, trying to provide and make other people happy, because you still have to live after Christmas. Yeah, you still got to live after Christmas. You still got to live after cooking all the food, after buying all the gifts, after having all the company, after going to all the different places, and you still have to live. And you want to make sure that you have positioned yourself where you're not in a position where you are struggling because of Christmas. It's, some folks are already just struggling. But we don't want to be in a position where we're struggling and then we're struggling even harder because of Christmas. Okay, so I'm going to get off that soapbox about the finances, and I can speak to that. I say that because I've done it. And sure enough, I paid for it the next year. So I want to talk to you about some different tips that, some things that we can do to help ourselves during this time. If you're going through, a difficult time during the Christmas season or holiday season. So we're going to go to a commercial, and when we come back, we're going to talk about those things. Hey, so we're back. We've been talking about the holiday blues and how it's just some things that we have been dealing with or people may go through during this season. First of all, I want you to know that you're not alone. There are many, many people in this world, and probably some folks that that maybe they're not explaining it to you or telling you, that they're going through a tough time right now during the holiday season, but they are. There are some folks that, we probably can just reach out to. Last night late, I was just sitting there, and one of my brothers came to my mind, and I just texted him. I was like, hey, bruh, you on my mind, just checking in with you. And he just started sharing, how tough it is right now for him. And I'm sure, being that we are in the holiday season, with some of the things that he's going through, just kind of exacerbates, what he's dealing with. But I just wanted to reach out to him and let him know that he has a sister who cares about him and who's checking in on him. So this is a good time for us to check in on people that we know have been having a tough time, and letting them know that somebody is thinking about them, somebody cares about them, and that they're going to be all right. They're going to be all right. And we may have to make a few little sacrifices. Think about that. May have to make a few little sacrifices to help other people. So think about those things. But I wanted to give you 10, I'm always about tips. And so I wanted to give you 10 little things that you can, if you need to kind of, work through this season, if you need to, help yourself during this season, there's just a couple things that you can do. Okay. First of all, and I think we've been kind of talking about it, but the first thing I want you to do is I really want you to keep it real. Be realistic about what you're experiencing. Be realistic about how the holiday season affects you and what things come up when you are going into the holiday season. Keep it real. I mean, don't fake it. Don't act like nothing's going on. If you have a trusted person, a good friend, whomever, your counselor, talk to that person and let them know, I am going through it. I am struggling. Holiday seasons are not good for me. Say it out loud. Say it out loud. Say it out loud. If the holiday season is not good for you, say it out loud to somebody and let them know where you are. Be realistic about what's going on, in your life at this time, and be realistic about how you are affected by the holiday season. Be realistic. Okay. So talk to somebody, somebody who's going to take the time out to listen to you. And if you don't have any friends or anybody who you feel comfortable talking to, look, go invest in you for the holiday season. Yes. So your present to yourself can be, I'm going to go and start counseling. That's a good present. That's a good present. And recently I was talking to somebody about counseling, and I was telling them that, they were saying, I don't have time for counseling. Counseling is not something that you just, you have this pocket of time in your schedule every week to do. No, counseling, when you need it, is something you make time to do because you need it. You make time to go sit down, in somebody's office, on a chair, on a couch, whatever the case may be, in front of a computer screen, if you're doing it telehealth, and you make the time. Because guess what? You are important enough to make the time to get counseling, to take care of your emotional health, your mental health, your spiritual health, as well as your physical health. Okay? You're worth it. So be realistic. And if you need to, go get some counseling. Go find somebody that don't know you, don't know nothing about you, so you can say all the crazy stuff you want to say. You can lay on the couch if they have one, the proverbial couch. You can lay there, kick and scream. And guess what? It's not like somebody that will be like, girl, she was kicking and screaming. I was about to get up and run out of there. No, that person is used to that. And guess what? You're paying for it. So go ahead. Go ahead and do that. Okay? The next thing is we talked about finances. We talked about not having everything that you may want to, or the finances to do all the things that you want to do, but just work with what you have. If you only have this much that you can contribute to giving and purchasing and doing whatever, then use that much. Yeah. If that's all you got, then use what you have. Work with what you have. It's okay. Because you can take this much and you can mix it with something else. Sometimes, let me just stop here. Sometimes the best gifts are the gifts that are handmade. Bake some cookies, put them in a cute box, tie a bow around them, and say, Merry Christmas. I took the time out to bake these cookies just for you. Or if it's a good dish that you make and people love it, or if you know how, you could do this. You may not want to make the cookies, but what you could do is you could put the whole mix together. Have you ever seen those in the stores where it's like the cookie mix? They have all the ingredients in this jar, and all you got to do is pour it out, put the wet ingredients in, stir it up, and put the cookies out on the cookie sheet. Do that. Or get some candy, put it in a real cute jar, put a ribbon around it. Look, my point is work with what you have. Okay? Work with what you have. Then I talked about this too. Sometimes when we're going through some things, and maybe life isn't what we wanted for ourselves, man, reaching out and helping somebody else is probably the best thing that you can do at that time. You can volunteer. There are so many kitchens, where they're going to be feeding people. You could go to a convalescent home. You can go to I'm not quite sure exactly how all of that is working right now, but just call and check and see. Because of COVID and all the things that are going on right now, they may be like, but there may be some things that you can do to help other people. If you cook, make sandwiches, you could make a bunch of sandwiches and you could put them in some plastic bags and in some paper bags and put some chips in there and an apple, whatever. And you know what? As you see people on the street, because there's plenty of people who are homeless, you can gather gloves and scarves, blankets. You can help other people. I promise you, when you start reaching out and helping other people, it takes your mind off of your own problems. It really, really does. It takes your mind off of it. I know. I've done it before. And it's not that you're not still going through what you're going through. Don't get me wrong, because you still need to take care of you. But for that time, that period, that moment, just giving back to somebody else and helping someone else may even change your perspective on what you're going through. Right? Yeah, it might. It's done that for me. So the next thing too, I want you to do, we talked about taking care of your mental health, your emotional health, your spiritual health, maybe sitting down, talking with a professional. You can talk with your pastor. If you have a mentor person that, you look up to, an older person that you trust, that you want to talk and bounce some things off of, that's part of that. But the other thing too is taking care of your temple, your body. Yeah. Just before I got here today, my husband and I went on a longer walk than we typically do. So we were going on this trail, and guess what we ran into, or who we ran into? Wile E. Coyote, super genius. And I saw him and I was like, oh no, I'm not going down there. We turning around. So when we turned around, we decided we wanted to keep that energy going. We wanted to keep our bodies moving. And so guess what we did? We went a different path and we went up this big, tall hill. Ooh, I was well out, but I feel amazing right now. I feel good right now. I have all this energy and I feel good. And so taking care of your temple is so important. It's so, so important to get that exercise, get moving, get your cardio in, just move. If you're not able to go outside and walk and do things, you can exercise, while you are doing your housework. You could do squats while you're standing there at the sink washing your dishes. Be creative is all I'm saying. Yes, nature is meant to be appreciated from a distance. Yes, Kwame, especially coyotes. They are meant to be appreciated from a distance. So when I saw him down there, I said, this is your house. I'm in your environment. This is where you live. I'm going to turn it around and have a whole lot of respect for you and head it on back the other way. So that's what we did. But taking care of your temple, taking care of your body. I'm not a big exercise guru. I'm not a person who's, out lifting weights and doing, but I can get a good walk in and I can feel so good. I love it. It was freezing cold this morning, 36 degrees. But honey, I put on my hoodie with my big honcho, with my gloves and my sweatpants and my tennis shoes. And I just made it do what it do. We got out there and we did our thing. So, I've been in that place where I had all the excuses in the world, but today I did not have any excuses. I got out there. So here's another thing. Okay. If you must, if this time of the year is pretty difficult for you because you have lost people during this time of the year, don't hold back on grieving. There are a lot of people. I was talking with my sister the other day, and we were talking about how there have been so many people who have been losing family members and loved ones during this time. And she said that she read something where it said between like now and like March is the time that a lot of people pass away. Gosh, it's so unfortunate and it's really hard, for people. So sometimes holiday seasons bring up a lot of grief. It does. But be real with yourself in that moment. If you need to cry, if you need to go and talk to somebody, whatever it is that you need to do, but be real with that, and you have someone who recently died, go ahead and grieve. Go ahead and grieve. Get that out. Don't try to hold it back. Don't try to be the super strong person, but go ahead and cry, let it out, do what you need to do so that you can kind of get yourself together and feel a little better. I'm not going to go deep into grieving. The other thing too, okay, because we don't have much time left, but this one is really important. This one is really important because I think sometimes the bigger issues that we have during the holiday season are related to this, and that is forgiveness. Yeah, it's the F-bomb. I threw the F-bomb out there. I'm so sorry. But forgive. Forgive. Now, let me tell you something. Let me explain something to you. Forgiveness doesn't mean that you have to go back. I don't have to go back to the dinner party. Nope. I don't have to go back to the dinner party, y'all. That dinner party that I left and never went back to, I don't have to go back there, but I can forgive so I can move forward. I can forgive so that I can let or allow healing to take place in that broken part of me. Okay? I can forgive people during this holiday season so that I can enjoy myself and the people that I'm with. But if I'm upset, if I'm angry, if I have a lot of unforgiveness in my heart, and that's my focus. I'm focusing on what they did, what they said, how they this. Child, let that stuff go. Sometimes you have to just let it go. Okay? And the forgiveness is for you. It's for you. It's not for the other people. The forgiveness is for you. It's not for the others. Yeah, they get blessed by it because, you made a decision not to take them out. I'm sorry. But you made a decision not to just, go blow up something. This is real. But the forgiveness is for you so that you can be okay. You can be okay. I'm sorry, y'all. I was a comedian in my other life. At least I think so, anyway. So forgive, let it go, let stuff go, let people go, let what they did go, let what they said go. My father-in-law, who was one of the wisest men, I used to say he was the wisest man I ever knew. And one of the things he would say to my husband and I, he would say, baby, is what they're saying or doing changing how God is blessing you? No, it's not. They don't have the power to change God's hand in my life. So if they don't have the power to change God's hand in my life, then what the heck? Why am I giving them my power? No. Forgive those folks and move on with your life. Yeah, because some of the people that we're not forgiving, they're not even thinking about us. They are not. They are not thinking about us. Okay? So we have to make sure that we're doing what's good for us. And then the last thing, in everything that we do, everything that we say, how we move, how we breathe, how we interact with people, how we deal with folks, how we deal with folks in our homes, on our jobs, in our neighborhood, let's love. Even in the hard times, even in the difficult times, even in the times where, it brings up a lot of grief and a lot of hardness, and it brings up a lot of difficult times, things that, you haven't forgiven. If you dig beneath all of that and find a way to love, oh my God, love is so powerful. It's much powerful than hate. And love is easier to do than hate. It takes so much energy to hate people and to be angry and to be upset. It takes so much of your energy and you give so much of your power away when you do that. But when I choose to love you, that is a choice that I'm making, and there's nothing that you can do about it. So I want to just kind of bring this to a close here and just say that it's difficult during the holiday season. People actually get holiday blues. They get very sad. Now, let me put some responsibility on you if that's not you but it's somebody you know. Check on them. Call them. Go by and ring their bell. Send them a card. Send them a gift. Make them some food. Do something to help someone else. Man, your life will change because of it. Well, that's all my time. It's just been good to be here with you. I really pray. I won't see you till next year, but I pray that God blesses you and keeps you during this holiday season. I pray that you're able to forgive and love and able to give and get the mental and emotional help that you need for yourself, that you give yourself that gift. Okay? You can do it. I know you can. It's just Kim. It's just me. Love you until next time. Take care and stay safe.